Have you heard the old saying, you must love yourself before you can love anyone else? People often share that as the ultimate friendship and relationship advice, but they don't provide any guidance on how to love yourself. It just leaves us feeling either defensive, like it was only our fault that our relationships and friendships failed, or it leaves us with more questions than answers. How do I love myself? What are the steps? Where do I get started? That's why I want to invite you to a 3-day virtual conference, Love Yourself First, How to Develop Supportive Friendships and Meaningful Relationships. For 3 days from February 10th to the 12th, join me and 5 other amazing coaches, experts, and professionals for this empowerment event. At this virtual conference, you'll learn the secrets to loving yourself so that you can create lasting connections that will enrich your life. Tickets are on sale now. If you use my promo code Patterns Special, you'll receive exclusive access to hidden special tickets. And these tickets are only available with my promo code. So get your tickets sooner rather than later. Also, because we know you'll want to share this love with a friend, if you buy 2 tickets in a single transaction, you'll receive a 50% discount on the second ticket. That's right, you'll receive half off the second ticket. So if your friendships and relationships are missing the joy, affection, and genuine conversation that you deeply desire, then you need to get your tickets for this 3-day Love Yourself First conference. Reserve your space by going to alwaysloveyourselffirst.eventbrite.com. And don't forget to use the promo code Patterns Special. Once again, get your tickets at alwaysloveyourselffirst.eventbrite.com. and use promo code Patterns Special to get your special promo tickets. I'll see you there. Hey, what's going on? My name's Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting friendships. In this episode, we're going to talk about complaining. Yeah, I don't want to. We're going to talk about that. I know I did a little bit of whiny thing there, but it kind of sounded the same to me. So we're going to talk about complaining, what it means to complain, how does it impact you in your relationships, and what you can do with your friends or people around you who are constantly complaining. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, so let's say that you have friends or people that are around you that just keep complaining. They're just like, oh, I'm so tired. I've had such a long day. I'm so frustrated with these people. It just seems like nothing ever goes right when you talk to these people. They never have anything. Well, most times, I don't want to say never, but most times they don't have many joyous things to talk about. They're just like, my boss sucks. I blame this guy. I blame that guy. And, you've probably gotten used to it too. You've probably gotten used to all this bickering and blaming and whining. But there comes a point where you just get really, really, really frustrated. And you're tired of that. Like, you can't be like, oh, that's so bad. I'm so sorry for you. Oh, it's a shame that that happened to you again. Man, your boss is such a jerk, or all that, because it's constant and it feels really draining. I mean, I've had friendships like that. I've been the friend like that. No shade to anybody out there who's doing that. But I recognize that I also did that. I recognize also the impact that it has on people to be there for you and listen to you when you perhaps don't want to change. Now, I realize I just flipped the script here. I was talking about the one person who's handling all the feelings of the person who's complaining. And now I flipped the script to the person who is the person who's complaining, being on their side. And I have a tendency to do that because I certainly see it both ways. Like every instance or everything I talk about here, every friendship idea that I talk about, I was on both sides of it. I was the person who complained, and I was also the person who's trying to be there for other people. So I know how it feels, and that's why I think I can give you some really great insight on this. So I really just wanted to tell you, honestly, for real, I'm going to talk to the people first. The first people I want to talk to here are the ones who are around the people who are complaining. They're not the complainer. They're just receiving the complaints often. I'm going to talk to you about what you can do to handle that situation. What can you do to protect your own mental health, and what can you do to protect your friendships? So I can imagine you being in this scenario as a person who is constantly listening to the complaints. You're constantly listening to somebody being upset. They're not bringing any joy or excitement into your conversation. They're always just dumping something heavy on you. It's so, right? And you want to keep them as a friend. So you try hinting at their negativity. You try to tell them, well, what if you did this? Or what if you did that? Try to problem solve for them. Try to give them solutions so that they're no longer stuck in this sense of hopelessness, because you definitely see a way out. And kudos to you as being a good friend who's trying to help your friend, right? They are suffering and you can bear it no longer, and you want to provide a solution for them. Of course you would want to do that. Good on you for trying, right? But they're just not hearing you, all right? They're just not hearing you. They're like, nah, I can't do this. They give you more reasons why your solutions won't work. So you go out and you try to find more solutions to the problem. You try to figure out what else it is. All right, you brought up another roadblock. No problem. I'm a good friend. You complain, but I've got you. I got the answers because I'm a good friend. I'm here for you. But then they still don't respond. They still have the same problem. You give them sound, solid advice. They go off into the world and they come back the next week with the same old stuff that happened last week. Nothing changed. And you're at your wit's end. You're frustrated. You really want them to figure it out, to fix it. Fix it. They don't see how their negativity or their complaining is affecting your relationship. They don't see how it's impacting your friendships. They don't see you at all. And so you wonder, what can you do? If you're there right now, it's hard. I get it. But what can you do? You want to keep the friendship and you want them to stop complaining? Well, this is where I would give you I'm giving you the truth, okay? I'm telling you the cold, hard, honest truth is that they're not gonna just change because you want them to. They're not going to. You give them all the advice in the world. You give them all the insight that you have. You give them all the help, the time and energy, and the patience that you have with them. They change on their own time. They'll change on their own time. And you've been waiting for them to do that by giving them all this energy, saying that I'm here for you. I'm going to support you. But when you get to your point where you're frustrated with your support not working, you might try and do something like, you need to change, or I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Or you need to do something different. You might get frustrated at them because all they bring you is more frustration. All they bring you is a problem that you cannot solve. And I think personally, as a human, we really dislike not having control. We're all about controlling something in our environment. I'm not saying that this is a negative trait or a positive trait. I think it is just a thing, that gives us esteem. It's very esteeming, gives us self-esteem that we are able to impact our environment in the way we desire. Okay? It gives us esteem. We're excited at the fact that we can do this. You make a dish, you cook something, you try something brand new, and it turns out the way you wanted it. You can step back and say, I did that. And that makes it very exciting. And part of the frustration that happens when people come to you and they complain about things, constantly complaining and complaining, is that if you're a problem solver, if you're a friend who wants to help support them, you give out advice and information. You go to the depths of your mind. You go out there and you think and you ponder and you think, what can I do? How can I help? And you bring back all these tools, but still you weren't able to affect the environment in the way that you wanted. You still were not able to impact the situation the way that you wanted, because lo and behold, your friend is still sad and they're still complaining. That sucks for you. And that's part of the frustration that builds up with you. That's where it comes from. Is that you have this feeling that I want to do good. I want to impact the way I want to. I want to have this positive impact, but no effect. And you steady just keep going at it. No effect, no effect. It wears you down. So if you're the person on the side of the fence who is listening to the complaints, but you are helpless on the other side, it hurts. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And you just want to be like, hey, I want to help you. Do the things so that this will be over. And so that I will have fixed the problem. And then we can move on and be the kind of friends that I want us to be. We can do that. You just need to listen to what I say and do the things that I tell you to do. And your life will be square. And you can stop complaining. And then we could have the friendship I envision. And then you get mad at your friend. You're mad at your friend because they're not doing the thing that you want them to do. And it impacts your relationship, your friendship. You're not able to have the kind of lasting close friendship that you want because they're driving you crazy with the fact that they're actually constantly reminding you that you don't have any control in this space with this friend. You don't get to control them and change their behavior and make them do what you want them to do, even though it may be in their best interest. So, with all that said, if you're the person who is constantly listening to complaints, this is what you can do for your own health, your own mental health and stability. Recognize that you can't keep this up, all right? You can't continue to listen to somebody complain, be frustrated at their complaints, and then not direct that frustration somewhere. That frustration that builds up within you is eventually going to be turned towards your friend because it started because of them. They're complaining and they're not behaving the way you want them to, and you're frustrated and you want to fix that, so you're resentful of them. And we get into this idea, like I did, we get into this friendship in which we're angry at them, but we're happy to see them. And that's just a intense, tangled experience or feeling to have, right? You're happy not to be alone, but man, you don't like the person you're with. Ooh, that's like old married couple kind of thing. It's where I've no other choice but to be with you, and we've been together so long that I'm afraid I can't change anything. That doesn't have to be you. That doesn't have to be you. I want you to recognize your real feelings about the friendship. Recognize how you really feel when you're around people who constantly complain and what you are going to do about it, because you are the only person that you can control in this situation. You can tell them things till they're blue in the face. You can do it for years upon years, but they may not make that change. You know, you may not have considered this, but the thing that may need to happen is that you leave so that they recognize the real impact that they've had on you. As you may have said to him once or twice, man, you complain so much. Like, just stop complaining so much. And then they just can't help it. They do it anyway. And it frustrates you. It's like, don't complain anymore, man. If you complain, I'm not going to hang out with you. If you stick to that, if you actually don't show up, I mean, if you stick to it, they're complaining and you decide you're not going to hang out with them anymore, then they might recognize that their impact on you was really important. Because if you just complain, if you just listen to them, and you tell them, you get on my nerves, and you hang out with them anyway, and you resent them, and you fight with them. That's just a part of the pattern of a relationship. That's just a part of the pattern of your friendship. You'll just be resenting each other. That is no good. That's not good. Of course, that's not joyful. That's not fulfilling. When we think of our friendships, when I think of my friendships, I think of about people that I really want to see. I really want to hang out with these people because there's something important and special about the way they show up to me. I trust what they tell me. I trust that they have my best interest in mind. I have fun playing games with them. Those are the kind of people that you want in your life too, right? Not someone you dread being around because the subject matter is just ugh, and you have nothing else to do or nowhere else to be. I want you to be intentional about creating the kind of friendships you want. So when it comes to dealing with people who are constantly complaining, your best option is to recognize your own feelings, how you really feel with them. And if it's not joyful, recognize that you can't change them and go on your own way and find people to really connect to. If you need help with that, I've got you. I'll be right back with the Answer Reddit friendship advice question. Stop wasting time with people you don't like, you can't trust, and you're not interested in. Join the Patterns of Possibility Discord server and start making real, meaningful friendships. This 21-year-old and up community is dedicated to practicing real friendship-making skills. We provide a supportive, safe, and inclusive environment to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of our friendships. Here's just a few perks from joining our flourishing community. One, the best one I think, is that you're going to get great tips on how to find friends, how to fight fair in friendships, and how to recover from these friendship breakups. I host weekly friendship events featuring real friendship issues and resolutions. It's almost like free group coaching. And this is a two-way conversation. You are going to share your experiences with other group members, and they will share their experiences with you. You want to be connected and practice these friendship-making skills. The whole purpose of the server is for you to come here, practice these wonderful friendship-making skills, and take them out into the real world, see what happens, and then come back to us in the server and talk about your successes and your failures, what you could do differently so that you can try again. Let's support each other so we can find real, meaningful friendships. If you're interested, you can apply at my website, patternsofpossibility.com/Discord sign up. And I said apply because we appreciate quality over quantity, and we request that all newcomers go through a little screening process before they're allowed on the server. So if you're interested in joining a supportive, safe, and inclusive environment that helps you make genuine, lasting friendships, then you need to check out the Patterns of Possibility Discord server. You can sign up at patternsofpossibility.com/Discord sign up. Friend, in quotes, complains about having no friend. Basically, this person I speak to at school and sometimes on social media is complaining about having no friends. I think we're friends, but apparently not. I want to confront them, but I don't know how. Keep in mind, they have anxiety, so it makes it harder. We used to be a lot closer, but we've grown apart naturally. But they seem to keep trying to hold on, and it's making things worse. Anyone have any advice on what to say or do? Bro. This question. This reminds me of something that happened to me where this person, I've done this too. You know, I've been on, like I said, I've been on both sides of it, of everything that I'm telling you. But there was a person that rather recently, they just kind of talked about how they disliked something so much that I really enjoyed. And I thought that they knew that I really enjoyed this thing. But because they've known me for several months, but they just continued to talk about how much they disliked it. And I was really frustrated with that. I was really frustrated. Like, And they were like, Lee, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that this thing that you like, we're not doing this thing. And I'm like, why are you telling me? What? That kind of frustration was like, it's obvious that I'm going to feel differently about it. You're talking to me like as if my feelings don't exist about what's happening here. And being on the other side of it, being the person who was completely oblivious to it. I was dating somebody, this was back in my early 20s, mid-20s probably, mid-20s. And I took them to a restaurant. And we were eating at the restaurant, and they had like fish in the fish tank, were like actually floating around. And they're vegetarian. And so that's not the bad part, okay? They're like very used to having meat around and stuff like that. They didn't have a problem with me being a meat eater. But they had said, they really care for animals. And I had explained to them how they capture fish out of the tank and they cook them for you. And I was like, be surprised by that. Be thrilled by the fact that they do that. Like, her feelings about the situation did not matter at all. I was completely oblivious. And so facepalm. Yes. So again, on both sides, I'm seeing both sides here. But the important piece about here is the poster. So if you ever have any curiosity about whose side do I take, or I talk to the person who's giving me the information, not about the other person. My job is not to mind read and try and figure out what the other person is thinking so that I can say, well, your friend probably thinks this. No, we're always focusing on how you feel, the poster, about the situation. And so you have a friend that complains directly to your face that they have no friends. Wow, that hurts. Ouch, that hurts. It's being completely ignored, and they're completely oblivious to what they're doing and how they're showing up to you. That hurts. For sure. I know. So, what do we do in this situation? Any advice on what to do? Well, my advice is always to focus on your own feelings first. What's going on with you and your own feelings? How are you feeling about this relationship and friendship? It seems like you're really feeling hurt by that. I hear you say, I read here that you want to keep in mind that they have anxiety. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care. It's not your concern. If you focus on how they're feeling instead of how you are feeling, they will never get the right information. You'll never share with them because you're afraid of how they're going to respond to it. And you'll be stuck in this situation in which you're not telling them how you really feel because you're afraid of their reaction, but you're resenting them and you're causing more chaos in your friendship. It seems like you don't, I would say that I don't appreciate this. I wouldn't appreciate somebody telling me that they're not interested in me, or they don't consider me as a friend. I'd bring that to their attention right away. Like, well, what do you think we are? What's going on here? I want to bring that to their attention because perhaps being the person who your friend might be this person who's just completely aloof, and he might be the person, or they might be the person who's the one to take their partner to a restaurant in which they're vegetarian and have them marvel and hope that they will find joy in the fact that they kill live animals right there on the spot. That was horrifying for my partner at the time, I'm sure. But I wouldn't have known that unless she told me. She didn't really tell me. She just gave me a look that didn't press anything on me. Like, she may have known in the back of her head, like, what is wrong with this guy? But she didn't tell me. That's the thing. And I had to look back on the experience only after having my own experience with it. After having my own experience in which I completely disregarded somebody else's feelings. I wasn't even in tune with it. It's your responsibility to bring your feelings to your friend's attention. Don't consider their anxiety. Trust them to tell you how they feel. Don't make it up in your head. Talk to them and have them speak their truth. Redditor, thank you so much for asking your question. I know that you didn't ask me to answer it per se, but I did, and I hope that it helps you. Best of luck to you. Take care. Do you feel like you've outgrown your friends and want to find new ones? Do you want to talk about why your friends suddenly stopped trying to hang out with you? Are you facing a friendship breakup and you feel alone and you need some support? Well, I can help. My name's Coach Lee. I'm a friendship coach, and I help people make lasting friendships. I'm currently running a New Year, New You special. If you want to make a change in your friendships but you don't know where to start, I've got you. This special is 60% off my regular 60-minute coaching sessions. That's more than half off of the regular coaching sessions. For 60 minutes, I ask that you bring an open mind and honesty to our conversation, and I will provide you with a safe space where you can share your feelings. You will be heard and validated. However, I want to let you know that this is not a venting session. I wouldn't be doing my job as a coach if I didn't provide you with the insight and empowerment that you were paying me for. This call is for you if you suddenly had a shift in your friendships and need help figuring out why. This call is for you if you feel uncomfortable talking to your friends right now about something that's happened in your friendship. This call is for you if you want to stop feeling like you're less than and build supportive, meaningful friendships. Go to patternsofpossibility.com to find that New Year, New You special and book your call today. Better hurry because the offer ends on January 31st. My name is Coach Lee Hopkins, and you have been listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. You can find me at patternsofpossibility.com and on all social media at Patterns of Possibility. And as always, I want to encourage you to be yourself, live your truth, and there you'll make lasting friendships.